Alright, I'm going to show you something here. That's a little trick I came up with a long time ago for making beads without actually using beads. I bought a bunch of combs here yesterday at the local drugstore, and this is about the same. Yep, that's about the same. So I'm going to use this one. I'll set these combs aside. Let's go this way. And I'm going to cut the thick ends off. I don't need them. All they'll do is get in the way. Alright, so now I've got a thin tooth comb that I can use for making beads. And take a piece of clay, not a big one, and just start rolling it. Now I'm using a bamboo cutting board that I got from Walmart. I found the bamboo has a less tendency to stick, and see, it just flipped. So if it flips, you join the two ends like that, and you just continue, and you just try to keep it from flipping by straightening out the part that was flipping. Just wanting to flip again. So maybe time to cut it again. I'll cut it in half. Put that aside. Now these are going to be seed beads, not pony beads. Now let me describe what seed beads are. They're the real tiny beads that came out to the West in trade in the 1850s, and from there on. Before that, they would have been pony beads, which were real thick, real big beads, almost ridiculously big. You couldn't make tight designs in beadwork using the old style of pony beads because they just were unevenly made. They weren't the same size, so you couldn't do anything really geometric. So the patterns in the beadwork tended to be a lot less geometric and more in the lines of plain, simple designs, which really were what they were making out of the quill work that they used before they had beads. Now quill work, I mean, they had porcupine quills that they would use for decoration on their clothing, and it would be made into patterns like beadwork, except it was porcupine quills. And what they would do is boil the porcupine quills, dye them with vegetable colors, and then weave them onto sinew on the clothing to make designs. I actually prefer porcupine quill designs over even beadwork because it's just absolutely beautiful, but it's also very time consuming to make patterns with porcupine quills because it takes forever to well, first of all you got to pick them off the dead porcupine without killing yourself, and then you got to boil them and all this other stuff. Alright, I think I've got this thin enough. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. Now I tried to figure out how to do beads a long time ago to make it look like beads without actually using beads. There are sculptors who actually hire people to make bead patterns for them, not patterns, but sew beads onto cloth, and then they add that cloth to their sculpture, and which already has cloth for the clothing. And so I just didn't want to do that because I think that looks unsculptured, and so I just take the comb and roll it back and forth. Now that's not a good one, but you can see, let me zoom in a little bit on the detail. Alright, now I take the comb, and I might rub the comb on my forehead to keep it from sticking to the clay, and then I just lightly roll the clay back and forth. And you can see that it forms a kind of a bead type pattern there. It is uneven, that's why it shows there and there and there. But that's okay. I don't want it to be, I want it to look sculptural. I don't want it to look like a perfect set of beads. I can go in here and just do that if I want to give a better bead pattern. You get the idea of what I'm talking about, and then when you want to, and I'm just going to show you this real quick. This is all I've got time to do today, is just basically show you this little trick. But I wanted to pass this on to you because I'm not going to do this right away. It's going to probably be one of the last things I do. But you just take the beads and you cut them. And you just make row after row of beads in clay. You didn't sew beads, you just made beads. And then if you want to give it the lazy stitch look, you just push on the beads a little bit and it forms a rounded, well, somewhat rounded. Another thing you can do is put down a piece of clay on the sculpture as a backing for the beads, and then when you put the beads on, let's see if I can get this, you put them on top of that and you push down on one side and on the other side, and what it does, it gives you a nice curve like lazy stitch beads would be. Alright, I hope that gives you some information today. I'll be back on the clay, well, Friday I've got to go to the foundry, tomorrow. And I will be there all day. And then I've got a funeral memorial for an artist friend of mine, Larry Zabel, who passed away a month or so ago. And I'm going to try to make it to his memorial tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm going to make it. But I'm turning 67 on Monday, so I got a few friends that are taking me to dinner on tomorrow night. So I'm going to be pretty busy tomorrow. Alright everybody, have a great day, and I'll, happy clay beating.